Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's Genevieve. I know it's been long since I was here, but hey, I'm back. If you're new here, kindly consider subscribing, and if you're returning, thank you so much. So today we are going to be creating sourdough starter. As I said in my previous video, sourdough is just the leavening for the dough. Instead of using yeast or baking powder, you tend to use this leavening, the sourdough. What you need to start your sourdough: a glass jar with a loose fitting lid, food scale, spatula or a fork or a Danish whisk, food thermometer, rubber band to mark the level of the starter. Then you need, don't forget to label. This keeps a track when your sourdough is done. And the most important thing is the flour. Just don't use bleach flour, it won't work. I recommend freshly ground whole wheat flour because it provides the most nutrients. You also need to exercise patience. It might take several attempts, so don't give up. In case you forget to feed your starter, just continue feeding it as if nothing happened. At this point, I made two types of sourdough, one with rye flour and the other one with wheat flour. So on the first day, I just mixed 50 grams of rye flour with 50 grams of warm water. And I did the same with the wheat flour, 50 grams of wheat flour and 50 grams of water. I then mixed everything very well with my fork until everything was smooth. And I did the same thing to the wheat starter. I then covered with a loose fitting lid for 24 hours in a warm place. This is day 2. You can see nothing much has happened, but you can see that there's some activity going on. So at this point, what we're just going to do is take 20 grams of the starter, then add some 50 grams of warm water and 50 grams of flour and mix very well. I then proceeded to do the same thing to the rice starter. The process of making sourdough takes between 5 to 7 days. So on day 5, you can see there's a lot of activities taking place, meaning that the sourdough is almost ready to be used in baking. So we are going to do the same process. On day 6, the sourdough is now ready and can be used for baking. With very young sourdough, a little extra yeast is recommended at the beginning as a leavening agent. The driving force is not that strong at the beginning. In order to strengthen the driving force more quickly, you can now feed the sourdough every day for a few days. Thereafter, put the sourdough starter in a clean jar in the refrigerator to use as a starter for the new sourdough. Sourdough has to be maintained for it to remain active. There are other ways of using leftover sourdough. You don't need to discard it every time. If you noticed at the beginning of making sourdough video, you realized that you were taking 20 grams and discarding the rest. At this point, the sourdough is still too young, so we cannot take it and use it. But once it gets its driving force, you don't necessarily throw away the discard. You can make crackles, pancakes, waffles, and many other things out of it. I would recommend feeding your sourdough once in a week. I could make another video to show you how I feed my sourdough. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, bye bye.